Hi, good afternoon. I'm Vijay, and with me you have Pranav here. Or
Hi,
Pranav must be thinking that it's Vijay who is here with Pranav.
Good afternoon, everyone. So MICAT-2 was held today, and we both wrote the examination, and some of the aspirants even met us at the examination center. So how did you do in the examination? The first question. And Vijay, did you find something unusual about the quant part?
Yes, I did. Both of us, we appeared for CAT, we appeared for the AXAT, we appeared for the IIFT, and then we appeared for this MICAT. And guess, of all these 4 examinations, okay, which examination had the most difficult quantitative aptitude? My question is that of all these examinations this season, which examination had the most difficult quantitative aptitude? Any answer for this? Pranav, what's your opinion?
Yeah, so MICAT by far, obviously none, I bet that very few of the aspirants might have done that pie chart question. That was just insane, very much calculation intensive, even more I found it more difficult than the DI of IIFT.
And in fact, quantitative aptitude also was certainly more difficult than the quantitative aptitude which you found on the AXAT on 3rd of January.
Yes.
Isn't that? Look at the types of questions. That if you mark up the price by X% and give a discount of X by 2%, then the profit is X by 4%. Now, if you mark up the price by X by 2% and give the discount by X by 5%, what will be the profit percentage? All right. So, quantitative aptitude was very difficult. So, all those people who were not able to attempt many questions in quantitative aptitude, please do not despair. What do you say?
Yeah, of course, I would say that even someone who must have done around 7, 8, that's a very good attempt.
Okay, and first thing first, of course, here we are not going to talk about cutoff because 50% emphasis is on CAT or AXAT score and only 50% emphasis is on MICAT score. All right, but what is a good score? We are not talking about cutoffs, we are talking about good score.
Good score.
So, Pranav and I, we were just having this discussion and we both believe that if someone scores anything above 32, anything above 32 out of 80 is a very good score, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Last year also we saw that out of 105, it was around 45 was a good score, and this year the paper was even more difficult. So 32 to 35 should be a good score.
Yes, last year also of 105, I think you had scored around 50 and I had scored around 47, right?
Yeah, so...
Okay, so we failed to cross 50, okay, by 2-3 marks also, isn't that?
Yeah.
All right. So, of course, out of 80, 32 is a good score. So, all those people who have scored 32, okay, can actually tell yourself that, no, you have done well. Now, one more thing. Those people who wouldn't have scored very high on CAT or AXAT, they might need to score probably 40, 42 also. But then my question is that anyway, if you're not able to get a very good score on CAT or AXAT, how would you be able to manage anything above 40 here on this paper? All right. So that is very unlikely. Okay, good score in MICAT-1. I believe that was also almost in the same range. Many people found MICAT-2. We spoke with some people at the center also. And in fact, on my right-hand side, a candidate was there, and he clearly told me that the difficulty level of MICAT-2 was certainly above that of MICAT-1. All right, that is what we were told, and in fact, a few other students also confirmed this.
Yeah.
You have any idea about this, Pranav?
Yeah, so it was a notch more difficult than MICAT-1. So probably there the score must be somewhere 35, 36. Okay, but this MICAT was much more difficult.
Much more difficult, of course. And it's not only that quantitative aptitude was difficult. Even if you look at the verbal ability section, all right, there were some usual questions, right, which could have been done very easily. Okay, but at the same time, I came across a word. I believe that my vocab is good. In fact, on IIFT also, when it comes to vocab, I got almost all of them right. Okay, but here I came across a word. I've written the word also, which I was not aware of. All right, though that is not a benchmark for sure. All right, but we believe that in quantitative aptitude, a score of 5 to 6 is very good. In case of verbal ability, a score of 10, 11 is good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you say about reasoning? What score would be considered good in reasoning?
Reasoning, somewhere 8 to 9 should be a good score.
8 to 9 in reasoning. Okay, so calculate it like this also. And when it comes to the fourth section, GK, in GK also, I would say that 10 to 11 is a good score. All right, so if you put all of them together, so if you get good score in each of the 4 subsections, all right, it adds up to around 35. And this is practically impossible for any individual to get a very good score in each of the sections, right?
Yeah.
So we believe that 32, this way also, we believe that 32 is a good score. 32 is a good score. Saurabh Mishra is saying that reasoning was easier. Okay, reasoning was easier in comparison with what? MICAT-1? Is that what you're trying to say, Saurabh Mishra? Okay, let's see what all do we have here. And mind you, here in this particular session itself, we are going to discuss a lot of questions too. I think out of 80 questions, we should be able to recall 40 questions here itself, and we should be able to give them the answers. What do you say?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. Most
Confidence hai na? Bata denge na? All right. Okay, so we are going to give you 40 answers. Out of 80, we are going to give you 40 answers right away. Okay, so you can check your score on the basis of these 40 answers also. So if you do not get your exact score in the examination, you will get a very, very good indication at least. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we shall come to the questions, but much before the questions, you please tell us how many questions you attempted in each of the subsections. Please do tell us how many questions you attempted in each of the subsections. Do type that in. All right? Do type that in. We are not getting responses from you. How many you attempted in quant? How many you attempted in reasoning? What is called convergent and divergent thinking? Divergent and convergent thinking.
Yeah.
Okay? How many you attempted in verbal ability? How many in general awareness? Please do tell us and tell us fast. Kshitij Kumar is saying how much cutoff we can expect in the worst scenario. That is exactly what we talked about a few moments back, Kshitij. Tell us now, if 50% emphasis is on CAT or anxiety score and 50% on MICAT, okay, how can we talk about just the MICAT score as the cutoff? Kshitij is saying 10 each in GK and quant. 10 in quant is a very good attempt. And 15 in others too. So Kshitij Kumar has attempted 35 questions. Okay, so if your accuracy is very good, Kshitij, if your accuracy is very good, we believe that you have done well.
Yeah.
Okay, if your accuracy is around 90%, you have done well.
Yeah.
Okay, now some more things. Oh, of course, we are the people who took the examination, and if you believe that this session is adding value to you, right, please give us a thumbs up, comment here, all right, share it and subscribe to this wonderful channel, because we always come to you with the analysis of each and every MBA entrance examination, the fastest, and our analysis is mostly very accurate. In the case of IIFT also, we had told you that the cutoff would be in between 105 and 115.
Yeah.
And that is where it would be. We repeat. Okay, and in fact, yesterday when we were discussing GK of IIFT, all right, from that particular discussion, you got 2 questions. So Gradeup will take credit for one question, that Nobel Prize in Economics did not begin in 1901. Okay, Nobel Prize for 5 categories began in 1901, but for economics, it began only in 1969. All right, one of the ways of keeping that in mind can be this also, that this was year 1969 only, when many banks were nationalized in India for the first time. All right, so that particular thing was Gradeup's contribution to your score in MICAT. And of course, that quad question which was there in the IIFT was here as well. Okay, so please do analyze each and every paper which you appear for extremely well. All right, okay. Harshal Jat is saying that overall 42 questions with 5 in quants. That is a very good attempt, Harshal. Be confident of your attempts. Okay, again, if your accuracy is good, and even if you have 90-92 percentile in CAT or anxiety, you stand a good chance of getting the call for the next round. Okay, absolutely no doubt about that. All right, now major changes introduced in the examination. I'm sure you're aware of this, that in 2018 and 19, right, when it comes to the section on psychometric test, right, it used to have 36 and 27 questions. Okay, all of a sudden in 2020, 150 questions were introduced, and 150 questions you have to do in 30 minutes. And of course, It continues this year as well. And Pranav, how long did it take you to attempt all those 150 questions?
It took
Do
me
not
around,
make them faint.
it took me 21 minutes. Whatever I spoke my mind, whatever came to my mind, I just marked the answers. I didn't think much about them.
Well, we will ask people to do some research on his brain. Okay, I was able to attempt those 150 questions. Of course, I also, stayed true to whatever came to my mind. I straight away typed in. It took me 29 minutes and 40 seconds. So I believe that many of you would be like Vijay and not Pranav. Okay, and hence all the time while attempting this particular section, please do stay on your toes. All right, that is my message for all the students who might be appearing for MICAT next year. All right, do not take this for granted. Okay, so any significant thing here?
Even Kshitij took 21 minutes.
Okay, so Kshitij and Pranav, they are class apart. Okay, I'm a downtrodden. All right. So now, time for descriptive test was reduced to 25 minutes. We are going to talk a lot about the descriptive test as well. Okay, but much before we talk about the descriptive test, here in this psychometric test, how many questions had just 2 options and how many had 8?
So there were 33 questions that were true, false, and 117 with ordinal options wherein you have totally disagree, strongly disagree, and then agree, slightly disagree, and so on till. So there were 8 options. So you have this in order 8 options. So 117 questions of those type.
Okay, all right. So this is how it was. Now this is something which is well known to all of us. Okay, that the structure of the aptitude part was like this: 20 questions in each of the sections, a total of 80. Right. In descriptive test, of course, you know that 4 questions and total time was 25.
So they had reduced from 105 last year to 80 this time. Rest of the 2 sections remain the same.
No, in case of descriptive test also, descriptive used to be of 30 minutes. Okay, so reduction of 5 minutes here as well.
Yeah.
So reduction of 5 minutes here, reduction of 25 minutes here, and hence when it comes to the overall duration of the test, it used to be of 165 minutes. This year it was of 135 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? Okay, so that is about this. This is something known to all of you. This is what we feel about this examination. So Pranav, your take.
So verbal ability, I would say it was not at all easy. I would say it was rather moderate. Some of the vocab questions were difficult. Okay, and the second RC, which was on one was a small RC, so most of the people must have done that RC. The other RC, which was on some primal effect, it was difficult, right? And the questions were also not straightforward from that. So all in all, it would be somewhere around moderate. Quant and DI, definitely the most difficult section if you compare with other MBA examinations, also much more difficult than CAT, XAT. Right, I did not understand the logic behind giving such a insane paper, especially the pie chart set. I did not attempt a single question out of those. I did attempt 14 out of the remaining 15. Right, and I found that some of the questions were too tricky, time consuming ones, so very, very difficult section. A score of 5 and 6 should be a good attempt. And then general awareness, moderate. There were 4 or 5 questions on brands, 5, 6 current affairs, mostly static, and there were 5 match the columns, and I found those to be easy because especially that states one, and even some of the match the following were easy. The logo one was an easy question. Okay, so all in all, moderate. Divergent and convergent thinking, moderate to difficult, because word association tests sometimes turn out to be tricky. Some people are unable to associate those words, right? And again, there were some questions which were time consuming. The coding decoding would have taken a bit of time, right? And the individual questions like blood relation, so those were individual questions but took time to solve. So I would say somewhat moderate.
Okay, so one word is missing here on this slide. You know which word is missing here, Pranav? Okay, so reasoning question for Pranav. The word which is missing here is very. Quantitative ability and data interpretation was very difficult actually. All right, Abhishek Arora is saying that quant was tougher than how it was in CAT. Yes, we absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And Abhishek is saying this also, it was a Ghatia DI set. Yeah, we do not have to give such value judgments whether it was Ghatia or Badhiya. Okay, the test was there to be done. All right, we tried to do it. Some could not.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is how this Ghatia DI set was there for everyone, Abhishek. Okay, so we cannot complain about that. All right, but we actually do not understand the logic behind giving such a difficult quantitative aptitude section, okay, in an examination, which actually is an entrance for a course in communication.
Yeah.
Okay, can there be any reason behind this? Okay, so, or probably these people in communication, they mostly have to deal with those people who are very good at quantitative aptitude. So that probably can be a far-fetched reason, right? But other than that, nothing else comes to my mind. Okay, now beyond this, okay, these facts are well known to all of you, that 1 minute break between different sections, navigation between sections, not allowed. In fact, navigation between the subsections, not allowed, I would say. All right, so please, there were 3 sections. All right, psychometric test, descriptive test, and aptitude test. Okay, so navigation between these 3 sections was not allowed. Okay, but Test 3, Section C, aptitude, had 4 subsections, right? So navigation was very much allowed, okay, among these 4 subsections, isn't that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is something which Pranav has already talked about, that 117 questions had 8 options and 33 questions were binary. Okay, you agree or disagree, right? Okay, now this is how the verbal ability was. And here itself, we shall be giving you probably some 7-8 answers of verbal ability as well. You had 2 RC passages. Okay, RC2 was on priming effect, like we take all these sessions towards the end of it. Okay, and in fact, indirectly, we are priming for our products that, look, we are so very good that we come with the analysis in time. All right, we come with a very accurate analysis, and hence you should be buying our products, right? This also is priming. Okay, so there was one particular passage which was on priming effect. All right, and one passage, very short passage, was on climate change, which had 4 questions. Then you had 3 questions of parajumble. Okay, on vocab, you had 2 questions. And in fact, on vocab also, you had 3 questions, one on direct vocab, okay, and 2 questions on synonym antonyms. All right, on one word substitution also you had a question. So this is how the structure was. All right, 4, 5, 9, 13, 16. Okay, that's all right. And let me give you a few answers as well. And all those people who got these answers, please do type in here in the live chat. Okay, so one of the answers was iconoclast. Iconoclast was one of the answers. I'm sure you remember this. Okay. Then one of the questions, or rather one of the answers, was savage and ameliorate. Okay. So you had some questions, okay, in which you had to establish either the same relationship or the opposite relationships. Either they have to be synonyms or antonyms. Okay. So savage and ameliorate, they are antonyms. All right. So this also was one of the answers. Now, similarly, let me try to recall a few more questions. But anyway, at 4 o'clock, Pranav is going to take a session on questions. So there we should be able to discuss many more. All right. So then there was one question. Okay, on sweet tongue. The chairman speaks with a sweet tongue. You remember this? The chairman speaks with a sweet tongue. All right, so we have already talked about 3 questions. My promise is of 40, so we shall try to give answers of all 20 GK questions probably. We have that already. All right. Okay, so this is how it was, and we would say that a score of 10 is actually very good here. Score of 10 is very good here. All right, let's move from here and come to the next section. All right. Yes, Pranav.
Okay, so QA and DI, as we already said, that was the most difficult section. Right, it had very lengthy questions. Some of them were too much time consuming. The pie chart one, that was a very, very difficult question, and that was the worst thing. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone would have even solved that, tried to solve that, right? Because you had to find the values. First you had to convert those degrees into percentages, then use the ratios to find for A, B and C, right? So if we talk about, there were 6 questions from arithmetic, 2 questions on simple and compound interest. There was 1 question directly on percentages, profit loss, also partnership, time, speed, distance. Okay, there were 2 questions on the concept of maxima and minima. One was that box, a box that you had to make by cutting squares from the edges of the rectangle, and there was 1 question on distance and direction. That I would say was speed, distance, time, and that was doable by using the options. And then 1 question on statistics as well. The value of mode was asked. 2 questions on modern mathematics, that is PNC and probability. Heights and distances, 2 questions. Pie chart, 5, and there was 1 line graph. That was I found that this was the only sitter in the paper, right? You could just see the value and say that you could just look at the options and answer the questions. So here are some of the answers that I recall. One was for this distance and direction, the answer was 4.23. Okay, so one person moving at 10 meter per second and the other moving at 20 meter per second. One person starts. So the best way was to pick an integer, look at the value. So most of the people who would have guessed 4 and then saw that for 4 the value was less than 50. So 4.23. That was the only option that was close by. Okay, and then the line graph answer was 30 degree at 9 p.m. That was that anyone could easily observe. That was there was no credit in that. Heights and distances, there was a question. The answer was 1.5 minutes. Okay, it was something like the angle of elevation they had, angle of depression they had given was tan theta was given as √7 and then 1 by √7. So the answer was 1.5 minute. And then there was a question on compound interest wherein the ratio between the simple and the difference between the simple and compound interest for 3 years and 2 years, the ratio was given. The answer to that question was 12.5%. Okay, then there was 1 question on defects. That was a question on probability, that there are 3 products, the volumes, the percentage produced and the defect percentage. The answer to that question was 28 by 69. Okay, that was just easy arithmetic. A big deal. And then there was one maximization, minimization, cost maximization. That was something 289. I don't know, I'll have to check how many zeros were
5
there.
zeros.
5 zeros. Okay, so 289 with 5 zeros. Okay, and then there was another question on maximization. The answer was 450. Okay, the box one, the maximum volume of the box is 450. Then there was question on investment, voting. Right, some people vote and 75% people vote and some are invalid. So that was 20,000. Okay, then we had one of the answers was 1800 meters, 1.8 kilometer. That was again time, speed, distance question. Okay, and then there was 1 question on 6,80,000, that partnership question. The answer was 6,80,000. Okay, and then another question on simple interest, compound interest. The answer was 8%. Okay, so these are the questions. Another, I recalling 10.5% was the answer to one of the questions. So 10.5%. That profit loss question, that 60, the value of X was 60%. in which they had given X percent markup percentage and then X by 2% discount. So these are some of the answers. Apart from the pie chart, I think we have solved we have answered most of the questions. Anyway, we have a session at 4:30. We'll discuss all the questions then.
Okay, so by this time we have already discussed, or rather we have not discussed, but we have given them 17 answers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. And people, please keep telling us, viewers, that how many of these answers you also got.
Yeah, please do tell us.
That is extremely important for us to know.
Yeah, so that will also give you an idea that whether the questions which you attempted, you got them right or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's look at the next section. That was divergent and convergent thinking. So there were two questions on visual reasoning, some completion of series and all those sorts. Those come in Maharashtra CET as well. Then 7 questions on word association test. Right, so they had given 4 words and you had to mention a word that was associated to all of those 4 words. Then 3 questions on statement assumptions. Okay, data sufficiency, 1 question. The answer was all 3 statements were required. Okay, blood relation, coded blood relation, time consuming question. Right, so the individual questions, if I talk about data sufficiency, blood relation, they would have taken time to solve. Analogies, 2 questions, 1 question on odd one out. And coding decoding, there was 2 with a set and 1 individual. So again, I would say a moderate section. Not some of the questions would have taken time, like data sufficiency. You must have taken time to read the statements and solve it. Obviously, statement assumption, you have to read, think, and then answer. Right. So coding decoding, again, it takes time, right? So they had some capital letters and small letters and you had to match the codes. So questions were doable but time consuming, except these questions, word association, they take less time to solve, but on the other hand, sometimes they are tricky with close options as well. Okay, so all in all, I would say somewhere around 9 to 10 should be a good attempt in this section. Someone doing 9 to 10 questions, getting the score of 9 to 10 would be a good attempt. Okay. All right, so I remember one of the words was haste. The coding decoding question, one of the words was haste. And one of the answers of blood relation, that R is the mother of 2 of the people. Okay, so there was a couple with 3 children and one of them further had a child. So R was the mother and of 2 of those 3. And data sufficiency, all 3 were required. Okay, so we'll discuss the questions in detail. We'll collect more questions and then we shall discuss in detail those questions.
Okay, so here let's discuss at least 10 to 12 questions here as well. And Soumya has a question. Soumya's question is that if we do not score very well in quant, is that a problem? Not in our opinion. That is not a problem. Even if you score 2 in quantitative aptitude, but your overall score is good, along with your CAT and anxiety percentile, that should not be a problem. A poor score in quant per se should not be a problem. That is all that we have to say. Okay, the problem can be something else. So when it comes to general awareness, okay, so not that whatever answers we are going to give you, we were able to do all these questions ourselves. We have done a lot of Googling, okay, while driving to our office. Okay, so let's try to get some answers. One of the answers was, probably Pranav's handwriting is much better than what I have. Okay, so please, one of the answers was Jhumpa Lahiri, because Jhumpa Lahiri is not based out of Ireland.
Yeah,
right?
That was match the following one.
Okay, so one of the answers was Jhumpa Lahiri for sure.
It was given, I think it was given Irish, so that was the incorrect match.
Because Jhumpa is in the US of A.
The US.
Right? Similarly, one of the answers was Odia, classical language. Okay. Then there was a question on Agatha Christie as well. Okay. Or rather, the answer was Agatha Christie. Mary West something, right? Then one question was on which group or Rajan Raheja group owns which magazine. The answer to Rajan Raheja, okay, is Outlook. All right, one question was on Quad. So of course this Quad is of India, Australia, Japan and the US of A. Something which had come in the IIFT examination as well. All right. Then there was one question based on state capital. So of course, Nagaland's capital is Kohima, Tripura's capital is at Agartala, Arunachal Pradesh's capital is at Itanagar, and there was one more. Okay, Manipur, Mizoram, Aizawl. Okay, so this also was a question. Then
which of the countries is not in the southern hemisphere? The answer was Cuba.
And then in one particular question, you have to put 4 cities, right? From east to west. Okay, and the answer to that is Kabul, Istanbul, so 2 bulls put together, then Rome and Madrid. Okay, this is something which we are yet to Google, okay, but with 99.9999% confidence, we would say that is how it was, right? And probably look at Pranab Pant, and in fact he has played smart. Intentionally he has written KIRM and not, but this is Kabul, Istanbul. Okay, he does not trust me. Okay, Rome and Madrid. Okay, all right. Then there was one question which was on matching the logos, right? Many of us, we use IRCTC, so I'm sure you must have been able to match the logos of IRCTC, and right? RBI. And the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, all right. Okay. Then
yes, and there was one tagline matching that was L'Oreal, Bounty, Verizon and Walmart.
That's right.
And brand ambassador of Nestle in 2020.
In 2020. Your favorite Disha Patni. Tiger Shroff would be very happy to know. Okay. All right. Do you like Tiger Shroff, Pranab Pant?
No.
You like Disha Patni?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, any other question which comes to your mind?
Farmer, that ordinance.
I think this ordinance had come in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the answers was 2020 for sure. Okay, then one question was on 5-year plans, different 5-year plans. Okay, and in fact, Garibi Hatao was there in the 5th plan. Okay, which was brought by Indira Gandhi. Okay, and in fact, the opposition had said that actually what she meant was that Garib Hatao and not Garibi Hatao. All right. So that could happen. In fact, there was only one option in which 5th year plan was matching, right? Garibi Hatao.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question which comes to your mind? Can you come with a few questions?
Yeah, so there was on sports also 4 different cups were given and one had to match them. And what else? Yeah, true false question. What was the answer to that true false question? You said that you discussed about that Nobel Prize in yesterday's session.
The 4 statements were given, right? One of the statements was that the Nobel Prize for Economics did not begin in 1901. That is true. In fact, this is something which I discussed when I was discussing IIFT GK questions yesterday. This session was taken at 4:30 in the evening yesterday, right? You can watch the session. All right, quite possibly you might get 3 or 4 questions from there in the forthcoming examinations like TestNet and CMAT, right?
Yeah.
On 22nd of February. Okay, so yes, one of the statements was that Nobel Prize for Economics did not begin in 1901. That's absolutely okay because the prize began in 1969. All right, Nobel Prize for Economics began in 1969. Please keep that in mind. So that statement was absolutely okay. Similarly, there was one incorrect statement. Abel Prize is for mathematics and Pulitzer Prize is for journalism. Right. Now, there is one more thing. One more statement. This statement was that only Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, popularly known as Frontier Gandhi, okay, has ever got, has been the only foreigner to get Bharat Ratna. That is clearly incorrect. Okay, Nelson Mandela had also got Bharat Ratna, isn't that? Okay, so that statement was incorrect, and one more statement was incorrect there.
That Mother Teresa got...
Mother Teresa was the first person to get Nehru Prize I believe that was incorrect. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that this Sharad Joshi Samman is certainly given, okay, for writing good satires. All right. Okay. So these questions were there. We must have discussed around 10 answers here also.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are struggling to reach 40. Okay. All right.
So we'll do the match the following, and we'll present in that session wherein we have the detailed discussions. Then one question on K. Madhavan. He's been recently.
He has moved from one organization to the other, right? And he was heading Star and Disney here.
Star and Disney.
So answer to that K. Madhavan question, please put Star and Disney here. All right. Similarly, there was one question. One is Star and Disney, and there is another thing which we had.
That circus is in Canada. Right?
Oh,
so
both of us we marked France because we tried to act smart. All right, because we looked at one of the middle terms that was they. Okay, so we thought, but now the counter logic is that there can be a person of French origin settled in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So next time we do not have to use our reasoning skills in GK, right? Okay. So of course, how many answers? We have already given you a good number of answers. So please,
except the match the following.
Except for the match the following, right? So please do tell us very fast that out of these 12 answers, okay, how many you got right? How many have we given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have already given you 11 answers. Out of these 11, how many you got right? Please do tell us and tell us fast.
One was logo also, so that can be, I mean, we can only show the images and give you the answers.
Okay, so IRCTC was there, Reserve Bank of India was there, and there were two more.
Yeah, so there were ISRO and DRDO.
Okay. But even if someone knew just IRCTC, right, and Reserve Bank of India, that was sufficient to get the answer. Right. Okay. And any other thing which we can talk about? So we have to discuss actually 7-8 more questions. So we are going to take a session at 4 in the evening where we shall give you all these answers, or rather we shall solve many answers for you, many questions for you, okay, in a very organized way. Don't you worry. All right. So, all right, what next? Oh, very important, extremely important. I'm sure you're in love with us, you're in love with Gradeup. So nothing should stop you from liking the session, putting very wonderful comments here, okay, sharing it with other management aspirants, okay, and subscribing to this wonderful. What next? It does not listen to me. Your smartphone does not even listen to me.
Okay, so these were the topics of the descriptive test. Like they have the usual pattern, they give a topic, and then one of the answers you have to write for 3 points, and the second answer is against 3 points. So this time the topic was stone, paper, scissors, bitterest rivals make the best team. So 2 questions on this, and then there was one question on how young managers can implement this to optimize the managerial output of their organization. Okay, and then this was picture perception test, right? So they had shown 4 images, 2 keys were shown in a keychain, and there were 3 parrots. There was a lady selling green vegetables, okay, and a sun rising or setting behind the pylon. Okay, so these were the 4 images that they had, and you had to write some story connecting all those 4 images. Sri Hari, see, descriptive is you cannot say anything. It's neither easy nor difficult, right? It's all about how well you know things, right? If you can think well, if you have got good imagination skills of writing things, you can do well in that.
All right, next. Okay, good attempts. So would you please put some numbers here?
Okay, so verbal ability
10, 11.
10, 11. Right, QADI I would say 5 to 6 should be a good attempt. General awareness 10, at least you should be doing 10.
Yes.
10,
10,
11.
12 also maybe.
Yeah, maybe 12 also, because match the following were quite easy, right? People must have done those correct. Divergent, convergent, again around, I would say somewhere around 9 to 10. Okay, that should be good attempts, and all in all 32 to 35 should be a good attempt.
In fact, in case you attempted 32, then we believe that accuracy should be almost close to 100%. All right. But even if you've attempted 36, 37 questions and accuracy is 90%, that is very good. If you've attempted more than 40, you can afford an accuracy of 80% also. Isn't that?
Yeah, 40 with 80% accuracy, 36 with 90. So on. So
what we are necessarily looking at, okay, is around 32 for those people who have around 90-92 percentile in either CAT or anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And of course, people would be smart enough to present the better scores. Okay, I mean better score of these two, CAT and anxiety, right? Okay. This is how this is. Okay, this is in the final selection, right?
Selection.
20% here, 30% to MICAT, PI 30% and G 20%. So all those people have done well. Okay, start preparing for it right away. Anyway, you will get your MICAT-2 scorecard, as I had told you in the last session, on the Valentine's Day. Okay, in 15 days from now. All right. So we wish you a very, very happy Valentine's Day. Okay, along with other things, you must get a very, very good score. Okay, on MICAT-2. Anything else?
Okay, so the question discussion session, which all of you must be waiting for, will be at 4:30. We'll be compiling these questions, typing these and presenting them in front of you. So please do watch that session. That will give you a better idea of your score. Some of the questions which we may not have discussed right now would be discussed in that session, along with the explanations as well, especially the quant question on all, right? So please do join that us at 4:30 p.m. for that session. Okay, so you know that Gradeup has got courses for MBA preparation, and what you need to do for that is to get Gradeup Super subscription. If you are preparing for MBA examinations for the upcoming season 2021, if you have just started your preparation and are looking for some reliable source at a reasonable price, I would say Gradeup is a good option. The reason being, our mentors, I'm sure you must have met those on our YouTube channel as well as on Gradeup app. Okay, so we have started enrollments for CAT 2021. So if you have thought of preparing for CAT 2021, you may enroll in these courses. The courses, it includes live classes. The teachers come live. You have doubt solving sessions. We do provide mock tests and sectional tests. Right, with every class we give study notes in the form of PDFs, daily quizzes and whatnot. Okay, and the price, if you want to look at the price, the subscription just costs 19,200 for 18 months. So if you start now, you can prepare till next year, till your GD, VAT and PI. Okay. So it includes preparation for the second round as well, which is more important than clearing the first round, right? So these are the different subscription plans that we have. In case you are preparing for, if you appeared for MBA examinations in 2020, 2021 and are preparing for GD, VAT and PI, or if you are yet to take CMAT and Maharashtra CET and are looking for some online preparation, then you can go for the 3-month subscription. If you are preparing for CAT 2021, you can go for the 12-month subscription of Gradeup Super, and in 18 months you shall be covering all the MBA examinations of the next year as well as the GD VAT preparation for 2022. Okay, so these are the mentors. I'm sure they need no introduction now. You must have already seen them. Their amazing abilities, their skills to teach, right? Their scorecards speak of them, and none of them. You see that all of them have scored above 99.9, 99.8, even some 100 percentilers in their respective sections, and not only once but on multiple occasions. So these are the people who write these tests regularly. Okay, they are aware of the changing patterns, the type of questions that are asked, and have excellent pedagogies, and have been in this industry for long. So they have been teaching for many years. Right, so we have people like Saral who failed to score 99.9 plus in both quant and DI/LR for I don't know how many years. Okay, so these are the people that we have on a platform who teach you for these examinations. So they lead by example. They themselves write the test, score heavily in these exams. So what could be a better option than learning from these excellent mentors? Okay, so I hope you must have enjoyed this analysis. We are the fastest, the most accurate, and the analysis, in-depth analysis of this examination, right? So don't forget to like this session. Please comment. The ones who watch it later can comment their scores. If you have any queries related to the examination, you may comment the same. Please do share it with your fellow MBA aspirants, and don't forget to subscribe to this wonderful channel. We do a lot on all the MBA examinations, even for the upcoming MBA examinations, TISNET and CMAT. We are running sessions on our channel, right? And not only that, we shall be doing the exam analysis of those examinations on their respective days. Okay. Also, all the best.
All the best.
All the best for this MICAT, and do join us at 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. for the question discussion session. All right, so see you at 4:30, and that's it for now. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.